the test stream. So in OBS, my last preset was for Phasmophobia,
Right?
and that was like right after the election. So you want to know what I gave that as a title?
What did you give that as a title?
This game is now less scary than America.
Accurate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It should be working. If not,
Let's
oh
see.
well.
Yeah, we'll see if we get anyone else to join this.
No. I don't think we will. Like, at most Barry will pop in.
Yeah, we can get his 100 IQ takes on politics because it seems like now it's like dawning on him of like how screwed he's gonna be.
Yeah. I just want to make the quick joke that I feel like Iroh's sleepover is just an excuse to watch the Tyson versus Paul fight.
Oh right, dude. I keep people keep mentioning that to me today, and I keep completely forgetting about. Oh yeah, that's happening.
Yeah. So that's 100% what Iroh was doing.
Yeah, we're on to him. We're gonna expose him tomorrow.
Yeah. We could expose him in this.
True.
Let's make that a session. The expose Iroh session.
But yeah, so I wasn't there. Obviously, I left at 9 o'clock on the dot on election night. But what was like your thought process? Since I assumed you stayed up much later, so what was your thought process when you were just like, hmm?
Not too much later. I stayed up for like an hour more.
Okay, so you had like an hour more of just seeing things like downward spiraling. So what was your thought process when you were seeing things weren't looking too good?
I definitely thought that Trump was gonna win by the time I went to bed. Um, that that's pretty much how I felt. I did think it was pretty much over. I didn't think there was gonna be much coming back,
Mm-hmm.
but it was me, Baron, and Barry. Me and Barry were playing card games like Marvel Snap and Pokemon to get the brain
Right.
juices flowing. And yeah, just keep seeing things turn into red and all that. And
I think for me, I went to bed at the worst time because I went to bed under the assumption that, oh, well, the last election, it looked like Trump was winning around this time.
yeah, the Joe
But then, but then around like midnight or whatever, I would assume that more votes would come in to kind of flip things because I saw that Georgia was like still kind of in play a little bit by the time I went to bed.
yeah,
And then I woke up at like 1 a.m. in the morning and I look at the map. Worst decision I made recently. And I saw everything was red. I was like, oh God, it's over.
yeah. Cal, when Cal woke up or whatever, they were like, "How's it going?" in the political discussion chat, and I'm like, I'm willing to bet money that Trump's gonna win at this point.
Mm-hmm. Short of like, I think what was it? Like the estimate was that Kamala had to win like 70% of all the incoming votes from Pennsylvania to pull an upset. I was like, oh no, it's done.
hmm Do you think that every vote should be counted, even if it's not gonna matter? Like, I didn't think it would matter, but people complain about not every single vote being counted is also valid, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. I will say though, it definitely reeked for me of when Hillary Clinton lost and people were like desperately coping with it. Well, every vote's not been counted yet, guys. Come on.
Yeah, like, you can win the popular vote, but lose that troll run and boom, it's over.
Exactly. Except this time, Kamala didn't even clear the popular vote.
Yeah, that's why I've been saying when people see hope about a recount, I'm like, it's not gonna matter.
No.
Yeah,
I think I will say, I wasn't surprised that Trump won the popular vote because of how Trump ran his campaign in the last weeks of trying to turn out low propensity voters. He wasn't really eyeing for the people that are just gonna usually go out to vote no matter what. He was eyeing and gambling on people that usually don't vote and getting them excited to go and vote for him.
especially since his side lost last time, so they had more of an
Mm-hmm.
urge to vote. But
Yeah, and plus on top of that, as I expected, and the picture's coming very clear now at this point, is that Kamala just was not turning out people to vote for her.
mhm. She had
Like,
rallies, she had those, but that doesn't mean that's gonna create votes.
yeah, like my dad was like constantly talking about, well, she had bigger rallies than Trump, and I was like, listen, if this election proves one thing, well, even 2020 should have proved that rallies don't mean anything. They don't mean anything. It just means that more people from your side are willing to come out to support you.
Mhm.
That's it.
And again, I do feel like there is quite an audience with Kamala and the minor crowd, the crowd that can't vote.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like much of our youth these days are more democratic and liberal, but they can't vote yet. So, like, those are a big chunk of people that would probably attend those rallies.
Like those were probably the people. It was probably, if anything, it was the high propensity voters that turned out because they were the most excited to vote for her.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the 12-year-old named Noah?
I don't think so.
He mainly does stuff on Twitter.
Is he the guy with like the beautiful mustache
No, he's
and the mullet?
literally a 12-year-old.
Oh no, never mind. I was thinking of another Noah then.
Yeah, he's literally a kid. Let's see.
Okay, yeah, I have no. Oh, I know who he is. Okay, I've seen his clips before.
Yeah, he likes to debate Republicans and MAGA and all that, and
Right.
he was just big on pushing for Harris and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like, good example for the youth supported in politics, but they can't
Like,
vote
bro's
for
not
him.
gonna vote. Yeah.
He, I will say, I gotta give credit to him. He made a bunch of posts saying, "Hey, if you guys need an Uber to the polls right now, I literally will get it for you." So
Yeah, I really. It's like I really wonder who are his parents to be backing him like that. And speaking of the youth,
Fine. I'm watching a fight.
of course,
why are you doing this to yourself?
Why am I doing what to myself?
Watching that.
Barry,
Uh,
do you think that is actually what Ira is doing, and he just used the sleepover as an excuse? Can we get your opinions on that matter?
Yeah.
On what matter?
Is Iroh using the sleepover as an excuse to watch the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight because he's afraid of admitting that?
Yes. Definitely.
Okay.
Boom.
You should probably pay attention to the stream. Um, any other opinions, Barry? On anything?
Legalize cocaine.
Mm.
Alright, well, we are actually live, Barry, so thank you very much.
Wait, we are?
Yeah.
Yes, we are full on talking politics.
Where? On YouTube?
Yeah, this wasn't a joke.
Oh, God, sorry, YouTube.
Um,
Uh, who is there? Are there any viewers at home?
No, I don't get viewers.
No viewers at
I only
home.
have 6
Oh,
subscribers.
you only have 6 subscribers. That sounds like a skill issue. I was gonna ask if I could do product placement of my own channel, but
It's not gonna be worth it.
honestly, it would make more sense the opposite happening.
Yeah.
Barry is a great example of showing why Trump won.
Have you... Okay, 2 things that happened in the past 24 hours in world politics.
Yes.
The Colombia Parliament thing and the New
Oh,
Zealand
yeah.
Parliament. 2 drastically different things.
Yeah, the Colombian Parliament making child marriage illegal is great. It's like that should have been squared away a long time ago.
Yeah.
Thank you for
And
your
then-
work, Barry.
And then on the flip side, Matt Gaetz.
That is a step back.
Very big one.
I think I'm just gonna share my screen on Discord.
Yeah, Barry, are you familiar with Matt Gaetz by any chance?
I not
know how to
entirely, but I know like what. Like, isn't Trump making him Attorney General?
Yes.
And he's like being like on trial for being like a fucking pedophile.
Yes.
That's putting it lightly, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was a lone lawmaker that voted against child sex trafficking in Florida in 2017. He voted against it.
Jesus.
He also adopted a 17-year-old boy.
Oh no.
It's so bad that before this, of Trump wanting him to be his attorney general, all the Republicans were like, yeah, no, we are avoiding him like the plague. We want no association with this guy.
Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, yeah? You sure about that?
I have to fucking study another language.
Oh,
Yeah, what's...
what is this? Oh, nice.
Are there people actually like protesting the
I guess.
wow? Like the pedals are out in force because they can't diddle kids anymore.
Oh, alright, let's look at the New Zealand thing.
Yeah, so the New Zealand thing, I also am like kind of keeping. I'm kind of having on my radar now because I'm kind of curious as like what exactly is going on.
So,
What is going on?
fight? Can you hear the audio?
Yes, like this video I saw.
Yeah, but, so, gonna turn off the audio for a second. I play video games with someone from New Zealand, and I he was messaging me earlier, like at like 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
asking me to help him in a video game. And I'm like, let me sleep or I'm gonna hawk at you. And he didn't know what I was talking about, so I just sent him that video. So
Man,
why
it's
is he
like-
keeping up with New Zealand politics? Oh my, it's cool.
could you imagine if like the Democrats just went that berserker mode during a Trump presidency? How awesome that would be! Like Bernie leads like a haka chant in Congress.
Yeah, that would be a day to remember.
This is live on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Alright. YouTube, I know you're watching this.
No one's watching.
I pray, shut up. I pray that you have your algorithm not hate me. The
You're
YouTube's
gonna
Like,
pay,
open
this dude
to
really
buy
don't
you're
know
gonna
what
pay
this
us, right?
is.
Huh?
You're gonna pay us, right, for that promotion?
Uh,
I
yes.
got a message from
Soon.
someone.
Plus two. Plus 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Soon plus 2 weeks, I'll pay you.
Right. But yeah, apparently, from what I gather, is that the Maori people are against
Yeah.
a specific treaty being overwritten.
Yeah, like, it's, you agreed on something, and yes, there should be amendments to things, but not when it can, like, limit the side that was there before, you know?
So it's a case of taking a hammer to something that would need like a sculpt. Like you're supposed to sculpt it, not hammer it down.
Like, yeah, you can spend 200 hours just talking about it, but that just isn't enough. Like, you actually need to sit down and listen, not just talk.
Well,
Yeah, because my understanding also is that the Maori people in New Zealand are
oh shit.
not in a good position economically either. Like they're very impoverished, similar to how Native Americans here as well
Yeah.
have to face
And their 20% of
economic
the
positions.
population is one of the facts that's been pushed around a lot.
Oh wow.
So, but I prefer to see this rather than, colonizing and killing them all.
Mm-hmm.
This the outcome I much prefer.
Yeah, I prefer that too.
But yeah, it's cool to see. I don't know too much more besides that. Besides, more people should have done this.
Yeah, I hope that if they get what they want and more, especially because at the end of the day, they were the ones there on New Zealand first, even though they came in at what was it, 1300?
Yeah.
Still there first.
Hmm.
Finders,
Ethnicity
keepers,
is
losers,
bad, and
leapers.
that's my hot take of the day.
What's your hot take of the day? I didn't quite hear that.
Ethnic cleansing is bad.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Maybe we shouldn't deport 20 million people.
I actually do have a serious hot take on politics. Not like modern politics, but just politics in general.
Okay.
I generally have a negative view on just revolution in general.
Nah, that's not really too hot of a take.
It's not like a hot take, but I generally don't think, even when justified, they're like a great idea.
Um, Slightly less politics, but it's also a serious issue.
What is it? Coke AI? Oh god, it's already happening.
Oh, no.
Um, yeah, I just saw a disgusting film down there, and it reminded me of this, and that's just something we may as well show.
Jesus
So, Pepsi
Christ.
Better, my workplace personally sells Pepsi, so I feel like I'm legally obliged to say Pepsi Better.
Honestly, I feel like the fact that they did this is just incredible in thinking that they could get away with doing this and think that people would just kind of just accept it.
It's crazy. Between everything gotta be a corporation thing now, you know? Like, the Doge government thing is definitely just a pump and dump scheme. Hopefully it's just that and not actually,
No,
about
that
Kuba.
that DOG, I refuse to call it what it's supposed to be called. That DOG thing is just clearly an attempt to just kind of just destroy the federal government. Like Vivek Ramaswamy gave it away when he says we're going to cut the federal government employee staff by 75%. Like, what are you doing?
That is like the one thing. Let me explain myself. I do think that we don't want the federal government being like too big. I think it is maybe a little bit too big, but I also don't think we should fix that by completely cutting 75% of it all in one presidential term. I think that's completely ignoring any consequences that that's going to have. We can.
Barry, here's the thing. So, obviously, if we compare the federal government and military budget, that's one thing I'd like to point out to people. The military budget has always been way too high, in my personal opinion.
Ever since the Second World War.
Completely.
And then, if you look at the list of things that count in their criteria, it's stuff like veterans' health care, like stuff that shouldn't need to be quote unquote renewed and authorized again. Like that should just be a basic thing. But that's the stuff that meets their criteria to cut.
And plus, on top of that, the idea of how the federal government is too big, it's like, no, it's not.
Big.
It's not insane. It's not insane numbers like I would say like the Chinese government or the former USSR in terms of its big. And most of these jobs in the federal government, it's not like just all just NSA guys. These are people that track the weather, that keep up with national parks. As you mentioned, the veterans' healthcare system. There's all a lot of mundane things that is done at the federal government that keeps the whole country running, regardless of whether it's a Democrat or a Republican administration. And you have Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk saying, "Now let's get rid of everything that makes America a first world country, that keeps everything running."
And I do agree that is because not even brain dead is doesn't even begin to describe it. That is going to completely fucking kneecap the country.
Yeah, because it's like if you go after like the weather guys who are in charge of, predicting the weather for hurricanes and all that stuff, you're then going to be left with a system that is reliant upon individual states without the necessary funds to track these things, trying to figure out where a hurricane is going, and it could be a life or death situation. And plus with tornadoes too. There's like so many problems with trying to cut the federal government by 75%. That is insane.
And this is coming from the same, I'm talking about Trump here, but he's often said he would cut budgets for Democratic states and political opponents, alongside with, saying FEMA hasn't done a good enough job this year, and why are we giving them money if they're not doing a good enough job? And that's the kind of situation that will literally put blood on his hands.
Now, what were we going to say, Barry?
Well, I was going to say, it's a thing of, like, they're seeing, think of it as, like, you get a bunch of chessboards and pieces, and they're like the cards and shit, and they make a tower out of it. It's a thing of, like, after a bunch of time, this is going to be a long analogy, so please bear with me with this. Okay. But yeah, after some time, you see that, oh, whatever, I think some of these pieces maybe should be replaced. And in that case, what you should do is you just take out one piece, put in a new one, take out another piece. What they're trying to do right now is just completely like take a ruler, like a stick or something, and completely knock out like the entire lower level of shit. And that's just going to cause everything to fall in on itself. And then we're all going to be fucked.
And to add to your analogy, they don't stop at the top level, but they hit the lower middle level, then the middle level, and then the top middle level.
Yeah.
Like,
Putting RFK, isn't RFK like an anti-vaxxer?
he's an anti-vaxxer. He doesn't believe in vaccines, so we're going to get polio coming in again. It's going to be great. It's going to be exciting. All the diseases we cured is going to come back in full force.
What the fuck?
I just want to highlight this part. Can you guys see what I'm highlighting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
This doesn't even mention the brain worm. Also, that video he posted, that was the first time I heard his voice.
He sound like this, and he was like talking like he's about to be on the verge of death.
Safety trial of any of the 72 vaccines doses that are now.
I only recently heard his voice. Oh my god.
Well, there's only one thing to do in this situation. Konnichiwa, watashi wa berries too.
Oh yeah, and this guy, by the way, said that he killed a bear and buried it in Central Park.
This is literally
It's just one thing he saw. He does stuff like that all the time. It just amounts to it.
He also
and just not even rolling in his grave.
He also
Old fucking starter off.
not the but it's like this guy also out of nowhere for no reason came out saying like, oh yeah, I had Bill Cosby and Jeffrey Epstein at my houses, like they're good friends of mine. I'm like,
Epstein was still alive. He'd get a place in the cabinet.
oh yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, if he was still alive.
Yeah.
What do you mean he's not? What do you mean he's dead? That's just the government conspiracy.
Yeah. Epstein didn't kill himself.
No, not even that. He didn't die.
Oh yeah, he's still alive.
Or some shit.
Yeah, but yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Like I'm clocking it right now that Donald Trump is going to make Herbert Hoover look like a godsend in how he handled the Great Depression.
He's going to make Woodrow Wilson. He's going to make Woodrow Wilson look like.
To be fair to Woodrow Wilson, he did allow the amendment for women being allowed to vote pass.
That is the one thing he did.
And he also didn't go after Theodore Roosevelt's progressive legislation too in terms of taxing the rich and all that stuff. He has some good moments. Of course, it's dwarfed by him playing like what's that racist movie called? What's the name of it?
Birth of a Nation.
Yes, Birth of a Nation in the White House.
He's also probably responsible for American interventionism in more recent times.
I will say I do think it's a little too much put a blame on him, and it's not just the simple fact is that American interventionism can be traced back to the 1890s when we were already intervening in Hawaii, Cuba, and all that sort of stuff. Woodrow Wilson kind of just trying to just took where it was going to its inevitable conclusion.
Yeah. Fair enough. Still don't like him.
Oh, I don't like him either. He sucks. Theodore Roosevelt should have won that third term in 1930 and 1912.
Yeah.
Wait, what's this about Tiger King? What, is he gonna be in there?
No, it's just the funny. We need some comedy. It's just he's begging for Donald Trump to pardon him.
Yeah, he's offering service to that.
Have you guys
Screw it, let him in.
Connor Eats Pants Fortnite Fridays?
What?
If you haven't, that is such a shame. But he's played Fortnite with the likes of Joe Exotic from prison and George Santos from politics. And he's in talks to do it with Zachary Levi too.
God.
And he just interviewed
you
them
saw
while
one
playing
of those.
Fortnite. Yeah, if you guys care about the streamer awards,
No, I don't.
I care about the
Connor Eats Pants one was on?
yeah. But
Oh, good on him.
he's going against Aiden Ross and Donald Trump.
Oh, God. Okay, so he has to win.
Guys, I not and Kevin Hart.
Well, the Kevin Hart thing, they can't, doesn't age well.
Elaborate.
Basically, when P. Diddy got arrested, it came out that Kevin Hart went to his parties as well, and so Kevin Hart has been off the radar ever since.
Oh no.
Yeah. You should watch the George Santos Fortnite Friday. I feel like everyone has to witness that.
Sad. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, he got to be with George Santos?
Yeah, he played Fortnite with them, and he just
That is
George
incredible.
So when he played with Joe Exotic actually like left halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's the story with the George Santos thing is he kept begging on Twitter and stuff. He kept joining Twitter spaces and getting the chance to beg. And he did that over and over, and George Santos would be like, yes, when my schedule aligns, we will do it. And then one day it finally happened, and my personal favorite is their gun debate. Because George Santos is like, why do you need the machine guns in video games? And then Connor's just like, because it's a video game, people won't actually die.
God, George Santos.
No.
Dude was so corrupt, like so cartoonishly corrupt that even the Republicans voted to kick him out of the house.
Yeah, it's funny.
Do you think Jake Paul's beating Mike Tyson?
If it's scripted, yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. What if it isn't scripted?
Track record.
If it isn't scripted, the fight's over by the second round.
That is the thing. Jake Paul literally is like, no matter who wins the fight, Jake Paul loses.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If he loses the fight, then yeah, he just lost the fight to a 60-year-old man. If he won the fight, he just beat the shit out of an almost 60-year-old man.
Well, his bank account's gonna win, so that's all that matters to him.
Yeah, it's probably gonna hit a lot for him. And it's not like his reputation's any like he has any reputation to lose.
No. Yeah, exactly. It was funny though, like what was it, 2 days before the election, he came out saying, I know a lot of people were wondering who I'm gonna vote for. It's like, bitch, we know who you're gonna vote for. Come on.
Yeah.
And you're not that important in the political world either. Like, what the fuck?
Like, literally a few months ago, we were just talking how his belly looked like he was pregnant.
For liberty, for God today. What is he like? Is he like declaring that Mike Tyson is just like is just Satan?
Satan from the Bible. Yeah. Well, that also gives an example of what the Connor guy does to get people on.
Speaking of the Bible, Luce just had to mention
Yeah,
the new Catholic. Well, not even new at this point.
yeah. What about it? Just wanted to bring it up again.
Yeah.
We'll never replace Hatsune Miku, my beloved.
It's Catholic me too. Before the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight, we got fucking.
Y'all want to hear some racist things I've heard this week from people I've known?
Sure, why not?
Somebody I know started working at Walmart and came back, and he made sure to make it known of what race this was.
Oh no.
It's like, they paid in coins. Everybody else paid in card. Why'd they do that? And then, while visiting our family, he said the same thing again today, just even more racist. By being like, foreigners keep doing this and this. And I'm like, aren't you just complaining about doing your job?
The one thing, this is just random, that I'm just thinking, just randomly thing that popped into my head, that was English right there. With Elon Musk becoming head of this new government agency or whatever, it's just reminding me of the one thing from Hamilton, the fucking, yeah, the one line, somebody chose. I don't know. I am tired right now.
We can tell.
And yeah.
What else is there to talk about?
What else?
I wonder how long it's going to take for people to eventually kind of come around to realizing that, mass deportation is a crime against humanity and we should stop it immediately.
Hey, that's the thing. Like, even ignoring the human rights shit, which you shouldn't do because it's fucking terrible, it's also, like, that's the thing. There is a good amount of people in the workforce who have moved here illegally. And so that would probably not do good on the economy.
Nope. The thing also that it feels like I'm talking BS, but it's not. The way it used to be in the United States is that if you were a illegal migrant, but you were here for 7 years and you didn't commit a crime, you don't have a record of like doing any horrible things or whatnot, you just got naturalized as a citizen. Like that was it.
And he's not going to count that. He's not going to count that at all.
No, absolutely not. No way.
Birthright citizenship.
The one thing that I find that it's just a random thing that I find funny. That's just a lot of the people saying that shit, like, oh, America for Americans, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you go back 2 generations, and it's like 2, 3 generations, and you just find, and like, in their family, and more often than not, you find, like, oh, back at that time, they were probably saying very similar things about those, like, dudes. Fuck, I am losing my train of thought.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing, I do come from a family where, on, like, both sides of my family, it was, like, Irish and, like, Sicilians who, like, moved here. And that's the thing, they also did face, like, a lot of this shit. Like, oh, you don't belong, whatever, I don't care. I don't know. And I just find it hypocritical to be saying that now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I just find it weird that a nation of immigrants wants to get rid of immigrants. It does not make any sense to me.
That's exactly that reason why I hope the New Zealand thing actually goes well.
Yeah. But again, it's like there's 20 million illegal migrants, which it sounds like a lot until you realize that they don't even crack 10% of the U.S. population, because there's 336 million people living in this country. And they like to talk about this idea that, oh, there's like massive crime waves by the migrants. It's like, you look at the statistics, and I think there's roughly like 10,000 homicides each year. And from what we find of homicides done by illegal migrants, it's like only 23 homicides by illegal migrants.
This is new to me.
Yeah, I know. If you look at the statistics, this is not BS. It's like migrants don't commit crime. It just doesn't happen. It's not happening.
Yeah, they don't want to be caught.
Yeah, exactly.
But what about all the Democrats doing the surgeries on the illegal aliens? Or some shit like that. I forget how the quote goes.
Yes. Joe Biden is pushing an initiative to trans the migrants. All right, what's this? Wait, let me get my voice changer for Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump, if he smoked like 10 packs of cigarettes every day. Where is it? Oh, there he is.
You want to sound like I smoke 10 packs of cigarettes a day?
You sound like RFK more than you sound like Trump.
I am thrilled to announce that Doug Burgum, the governor of North Dakota, will be joining my administration as both Secretary of the Interior and as chairman of the newly formed and very important National Energy Council, which will consist of all departments and agencies involved in permitting production. Trump did not write this. He did not write this.
It's the weave.
Oh my God. I'm going to read more interesting parts that he definitely did. Like, the radical left's war on American energy has hurt our allies by forcing them to buy from our adversaries.
Counterpoint, Segex.
Shut up. We're turning legal profits to fund wars and terror. Energy dominance will allow us to sell energy to our friends, including all European nations. What I'm actually saying is that I just hate the climate and I want to just drill baby drill.
Objection, says Beamwax. Bam. I've just won.
Get send Barry to one in a concentration camp. I mean the migrant camps.
keep reading. I want to Google something after we do this.
Wait, no, I'm Irish.
It was the Biden administration has given our national debt to a record $36 trillion. Yet America is blessed with vast amounts of liquid gold and other valuable minerals and resources like beneath our feet. We will drill, baby, drill, and expand all forms of energy production to grow our economy and create good-paying jobs. By smartly utilizing our amazing natural assets, we will preserve and protect our most beautiful places and reduce
Nuclear
our
power
emissions
is based.
efficiencies in our debt. I'm not talking about nuclear power. I'm just talking about gas, baby. We will also undo the damage done by the Democrats to our nation's electrical grid by dramatically increasing baseload power.
It's time we talk
Baby,
about
shut up.
the
This will reduce the cost of electrical bills that continues to skyrocket for citizens and small businesses under the Biden honors, and ensure that America has the power to serve all of our needs without the devastation, blackouts, and brownouts, and to win the battle for economic superiority, which is the key to national security and our nation's prosperity. Joe Biden will protect our nation's national resources, restore our fabulous oil and gas advantage, and make America and its energy dominant and great again.
well.
John, we are so cooked.
Do you know the word? No, the nuclear word.
This is not what I
Oh.
want.
Yeah, I know about that.
Nuclear power is the future.
Yeah, how much was the national debt on Australia? Yeah, it was 28 trillion, right? And it went from what was it? It went up $10 trillion, didn't it? If I remember correctly.
Hopefully, we eventually find a
Eight
way
trillion.
to do nuclear fusion because then, well, we don't have to worry about power anymore
Yeah,
or
that
environmental shit.
yeah, a very very big USSRL was not making Chernobyl not happen because if Chernobyl never happened, everywhere would have nuclear power plants, and we'd be living in a much better timeline.
That is the thing. It's like I will always say this about Russia. It's literally just been like people complain about US corrupt, blah blah blah. It's like not even a candle to the shit that's been going on in Russia. Like people talk like the whole Russia strong shit that always circulates every few years.
Yeah,
It's literally just a thing of like
it's propaganda. It's an illusion.
it's an illusion. Underneath it, you literally have a country where corruption's been like part of the state since before there was Russia.
Okay, I have a few things I want to say before I transition to this new thing. And my local government, personally, I don't agree with how they are doing energy, even if it's more democratic and liberal like. They're trying solar panels and wind and water, but like they haven't actually increased the grid load. Like it's useless what they're doing with healthier alternatives, but they're not actually giving it a use in my local area and government wise, in my personal opinion. And then
Yeah, because I think we are just hitting the oh shit. We need to like reverse what's happening now, and so they're just throwing everything possible to try to reverse
in a
it.
bad way, in my experience. But now, if we move on to this new thing I popped up, before we read this, I just want to point out why is veterans get this much text compared to the
No way. This is for veterans.
why do veterans get that compared to this? This should not be comparable. And it's not just like
I
this for these few social media posts. If you go to Trump's Project 45 or whatever it is, and then Project 2025, all that, veterans get the
mhm.
same treatment. They get a paragraph or like 2 sentences, and then they go off on what we just saw for the energy post. And that's very disappointing to me.
It's disappointing, but not surprising.
Like, you ain't showing you care by doing the bare minimum.
Alright. Another buried side tangent, this time actually relevant to this stuff. I am also very concerned that Trump's gonna pull a fucking appeasement with this Ukraine and whatever.
Mhm.
It's a thing of like, it's like whatever people say, like, oh, all the blah 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 blahs, like, oh, all these countries are whatever, uh, like suddenly being more friendly with Trump or whatever now that he's won the election. I don't really think it's because they're intimidated by Trump. I think it's just because he's a lot more open to talks with people that he really shouldn't be doing that with.
I I come at it like this with like war is just the worst thing that can ever happen. I am I'm very, very out and about of like, the Gaza war, how there needs to be an immediate ceasefire. And
Naturally.
when it comes to Ukraine, I also am like, no, there needs to be a ceasefire. And however, this is where I differentiate with someone like Trump. The ceasefire should not come at the cost of Ukrainians just rolling over and giving up, because that's just not going to happen. There needs to be a ceasefire where, at the very least, the front lines are stayed as is, so that way a peace settlement can be
Not
negotiated.
even. There needs to be a peace where the whatever several regions in Ukraine that are like some like very important regions. I think they produce a good chunk of the country's food. I think it's like the Donbass area.
Yeah, the
They need
Donbass
to be
area.
returned. I think they're
Oh, yeah.
if I remember correctly, they still are under Russian occupation right now,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
could
need
you
to be returned.
could you pull up the Russian invasion of Ukraine article so that we can see what the map looks like?
Yeah. If you could also.
That
Because
is that is the one thing. Until like,
well, yeah, it is why I ultimately, though, I still believe that you should always try to negotiate for some sort of ceasefire. And if it doesn't happen, then okay, nothing changes. But at the very least, you're trying to push for something to change.
Is this accurate to you?
it's the thing of like, there needs to be a peace. Yeah, there
Yeah,
needs to be a
that's
peace
accurate.
where best case scenario, all that in the red is returned. That's the best case scenario. It's probably not going to happen, but at the very least, literally everything except for Crimea gets returned, which is like pre-war borders, and I think that's what should be like where the line's drawn.
Yeah, because as I always say, a lot of stuff in the world happens because the U.S. consents to it because we are the hegemonic global power. And for Ukrainians, they're at our mercy, especially because of how much support we have given them. So it really is going to have to come down to what Trump and unfortunately Elon Musk, because Elon Musk was apparently on the call with Zelensky,
Not just
what they are going to
but
want
other
to see happen.
networks.
What did you say, Gib?
not just Zelensky, but like they were doing like Zoom calls with like Argentina and whatnot too. And Elon Musk was there.
Yeah, it's like yeah, so it's not looking good for Ukrainians.
Because it's
However, the past 2 years have not looked good for them at all. So that's something else to make a note of.
Yeah,
it's a thing of like I don't think this definitely isn't true, but this is definitely what's going to be made out to be. Definitely, if we just if Trump just basically bends over backwards and forces Ukraine to basically like sign away a bunch of their land and stuff, it's a thing of Russia just beat NATO. Not, I don't personally think that, but that's the thing. It's
Yeah,
going to be
that's
played up as that.
yeah, the Russians are definitely going to run with that narrative. However,
At this point, it's a thing of not. It's definitely a thing of preserving Ukraine's sovereignty, and that's definitely a big priority. But
mhm.
even if you don't agree with that, it's a thing of preserving, like let me try to find the right words for this. Not looking like pushovers.
Yeah, I think one of the things though that it just does piss me off was how early in the war, when it was still very fresh in terms of
when it
the
was
invasion that just happened, Ukraine has repelled the Russians from Kiev, and there was negotiations happening between the Ukrainian government and the Russian government to end the war right then and there. And then Boris Johnson and Biden came in and said, "No, don't end the war."
but doesn't even grant them the status of being a United Nation.
You mean a NATO member?
Yeah,
Yeah. Like they were just like, no, 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 don't end the war. It'll be fine.
but
That's
also we're not
it's a
saying
thing of
yes because we also want Russia to like us but hate you.
Mm-hmm. It's like, no, 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 and don't end the war because you're weakening Russia for us. We love it.
And Russia can't
it's
give them.
genuinely a thing. Like that's the thing. People say like, oh, Ukraine's now just becoming a puppet of NATO. It kind of is,
Oh
but
yeah.
that's the thing. I think that's a significantly better than it becoming a puppet of Russia.
Well, to be fair, they were a puppet of Russia up until 2014, and nothing really
Of
changed that
course.
much.
Yeah, until I had to take map quizzes.
But they've pretty much just gotten their sovereignty back, and I think like they haven't. Yeah,
Overall, this war is just horrible. I think we can all agree
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
horrible war. I believe, like the estimates they have is that I think it's now definitely past like maybe 600,000 people have died in total, and that's just horrible to look at. Like, yeah, if you look up the Wikipedia article for casualties of the Russia-Ukraine war, you scroll down to total casualties. Like those are completely outdated numbers. Those are not
yeah,
real
those are
numbers.
from this one. Let's up that.
Yeah, let's see 2024. Yeah, those are low numbers. There's no way.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
also
'cause
like not even touching on the Palestine stuff either.
oh yeah, the
This is still
Palestine
only been
number
going on
is
too. Like,
yeah, the Palestinian number is 41,000 people were killed, and I am a firm believer that that they're lowballing it.
yeah, it's depressing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and, having to teach grown adults about this stuff is the even worst part.
I ultimately think that like really this Weather War Ready, it's like a perfect, not like not sorry, it's like literally. Oh my god, I just lost my train of thought.
Look, I also look at like that post stamp right there. If you look at that post stamp, look at the ages of those guys when you see it. 2000 of the guy on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
1988 on
2000.
the
He
other.
22 years old, dead. Like that's a guy that that we would have been in the same that we were going in the same grades together.
Mm-hmm. Well, these sure are numbers.
that is I that is the thing. It's like it is really just kind of tragic how a Ukraine's being invaded and like a lot of their people are dying, and b how a bunch of like I'm not gonna say all the Russian troops invading are innocent, but I know there definitely are a bunch of them who are, and they're
Oh
just
yeah.
getting sent to die in metal coffins for tanks.
Yeah, it's like 100, like one statistic said like 115,000 Russians dead and but 600,000 wounded. That's 600. That's like 600,000 people's lives forever changed.
Yeah, it's literally just
Yeah, war sucks.
yeah.
Yeah, that is fun. This
But
is
yeah,
funny though.
that's the thing. I know definitely Ukraine wants to
Brainwashed.
join NATO, and people are complaining about like, oh, this is because Ukraine is trying to join NATO and Russia's defending itself and they feel threatened. I genuinely think, yeah, they should, because that's the thing. Russia has like it's not really done. I don't think it's really done much to deserve its big, tough, like, uh, reputation.
Yeah, I took a current events class in high school. It was basically just what we're doing now.
Yeah, it's a funny because that's the thing. Russia definitely does take a lot of pride in like how it's the successor to the Soviet Union and blah blah blah, and they were really strong. But that's the thing of the Soviet Union was strong because of a lot of its member states,
Hmm.
like Ukraine, Belarus, and
Yeah,
it just basically was Russia exploiting all these other member states and then propping themselves up as, oh, it's all because of us and the Russians and blah blah blah.
the Soviet Union is a very interesting, complicated beast to examine
Yeah,
when you get the chance to.
Um, I feel like we're just gonna keep repeating the sad truths about that, where Russia big, NATO also not making the right moves, and Ukraine doesn't deserve it, and all other genocides and ethnic cleansing.
Hmm.
that is the one thing. I think it is slightly morbidly funny that literally Russia invades Ukraine to quote unquote stop them from joining NATO, and as a result, like literally five other countries joined NATO.
Um, so this is the next statement from our Lord and
I don't
Savior
know.
Donald Trump. And this is literally reading off to me personally. Ha ha, you can't touch me. So, you want to bust out the Trump voice again, Danny?
Yeah, let me get it out.
This one will be funny.
I'm gonna pop out for a little bit to just watch the fight or something.
Alright.
All right.
I shall be back soon. Remember
Enjoy
to
the fight. Have fun.
There you go.
I am pleased to announce that Dean Jerome Sewell will serve as the Solicitor General of the United States in my administration. John is a deeply accomplished, masterful applicant attorney who clerked for Justice Antonin Scalia in the United States Supreme Court, served as Solicitor General of Missouri for 6 years and has extensive experience practicing before the U.S. Supreme Court and other applicant courts. Most recently, John was lead counsel representing me in the Supreme Court in Trump versus the United States, winning a historic victory on presidential immunity, which is a key to defeat the unconstitutional campaign of warfare against me and the entire MAGA movement. John was a Rhodes Scholar, graduated from Duke University, Oxford University, and is a magna cum laude graduate of Harvard Law School. John will be a great champion for us as we make America great again. Yes, I am doing a victory lap.
That's basically, haha, you can't touch me, right?
Yeah, he's like, haha, this guy's the reason why I'm invincible.
Ooh, the other one. He's really pumping these out. Make sure I open Discord so it actually pops up on the live stream. He just really wants to announce everything.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, yeah, we're back. We're so back to the Trump years of him just announcing everything, and it's just like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm so over it, and it hasn't even started yet.
Yeah. Oh, this one doesn't even get an image. He just absolutely dominated everyone.
I just like to imagine he's like personally just tweeting all this stuff out on personal, like no one else is actually tweeting it.
He has a room of people where he just says what he wants to be tweeted. So
It's just a room of people that are just constantly like.
It really is though. Like I saw a video of it a few days ago, and yeah,
It's like Elon.
Like
It's like the Elon Musk room, basically.
Yeah. I still like what Trump has been doing. Like he has been meeting with dictators while not in office and all that, even before the election. And then
Yeah.
he brings in Elon Musk. That is literally a crime. Like he's legally not allowed to do that.
Legally, he's not allowed to do that, but it seems like Joe Biden and co are just too feckless to actually do anything.
Like, oh, the RFK announcement.
Yeah, that's just like. It was so funny to me though that when Matt Gaetz was announced as the attorney general, and even conservatives were like, "Okay, this is too far for us. That is insane. That is crazy."
Yeah, I mean,
and it's like, dude, you voted for him. What did you think was gonna happen?
Yeah, this is like they were very well warned, and it's only gonna get worse. Um, it's just this isn't good.
It's like I am clocking it that he is gonna make, like I said earlier, he's gonna make Herbert Hoover look like a genius in how he handled the Great Depression in comparison to what Trump is gonna do to the country. I think this is gonna be the moment that's unfortunately gonna make it so that a lot of people are gonna realize that, oh no, this is horrible. We need, everything is crashing around us. Even the billionaire class is also not doing great. Everything is going to hell. Perhaps maybe we should do another second New Deal.
Yeah, but it's gonna be iffy. All right, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially also with like most of the world also is like going a rightward direction. So if the whole world just goes to hell, oh boy.
yeah. It, who knows how many countries are gonna come into existence in the next, let's say, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
See
It's like we don't even get the Roaring Twenties part before the Great Depression. We're just going straight into it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We don't get to be gaslit about how great life is.
I mean, some people are, that's for sure. My sister, we went to visit my grandparents today. Keep in mind, I am the only liberal out of my family. They're all
Mm-hmm.
MAGA. Um, and she had a sticker on her gas lid of Biden saying, "I did that." She's one of those people. She got in the car. She's like, "I'm gonna need a new sticker." And again, I don't normally fight this stuff. She's like, "I gotta get a new sticker. It has to be funny, but I don't know what to get." I'm like, "Well, that's for you to decide." She's like, "I
Mm-hmm.
suck at choosing," and I'm like, "That sucks." She's saying it with a smile, but she's like, "Yeah, now the gas prices are gonna go down. I really need a new one." So
Yeah, because gas prices is all that's going to matter once the tariffs kick in and the deportations as well. Get rid of so much labor in this country. Like,
and again, I said my sister. She's female, so thankfully Maine is pretty persistent about, you know, not making sure rights are infringed upon.
mm-hmm.
Uh, oh, well, oh, I'm getting comments from people I play video games with now. Um, they found the live stream.
Ooh, hello.
They're telling me I need to turn up my mic. I could do that, but that's gonna be iffy. I just gotta get a better mic.
Yeah, you gotta get one of mine.
I do. You should send me the link.
Yeah, let me see. I gotta find it again.
Um, but yeah, both my grandparents, they're very Republican, especially my grandfather.
Does he just forget about Social Security? Like, do they just forget about that?
Yeah. He's also very religious. Like he 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 wanted to become a pastor. That's what he wanted to do. Then my my step family, they're very MAGA.
I just don't get.
Like
it's like I get it, but then I don't. I have more understanding for people that just say screw it. I'm not gonna vote for the system because it sucks.
That's my dad, basically.
Yeah, I have more understanding with people like that than those who are like enthusiastically like MAGA supporters. That's where you just lose me.
Um, yeah, my brother can't legally vote, but biggest Trump lover I know.
One thing I definitely can't wait to see is a lot of people are going to have to face the reality of how Trump is getting older and older
They're
because
not gonna face that.
he's going to be slowing down in the coming years, and Trump can't help himself but be public. So the whole nation's going to see him slowing down, and we're going to see conservatives running defense to try to justify him slowing down.
Well, that's why we have JD Vance. That's what JD Vance did this whole election. So that's his job.
Oh yeah, because we all love JD Vance. God, the biggest mistake Kamala Harris could ever do was basically cucking Tim Walz to having to act like he was the peaceful dove against JD Vance.
Tim Walz was so good.
He was so good, man. And then the Democrats just cucked him.
Their whole strategy of just be silent and let their own words destroy them. That's just
Is like he single-handedly made the Republicans look stupid by just calling them weird, told them to mind their own damn business. Like he created a perfect formula that Kamala could have ran on. And then she just went like, actually, we're gonna run a Biden campaign. We're gonna run with Liz Cheney. We're gonna run with all these different people that are Republican alike, and just torpedo the campaign. Because it's not like Trump's gonna win or anything like that. Come on.
yeah. The thing I hate the most is that these election cycles are now built on hate and really always have been.
Mm-hmm.
This
It's
time
like,
around, Kamala, she didn't even say what she stood for a while.
yeah, what she did was, and this was something I called was gonna be potentially her undoing. She did what I call is the Dewey. And so what I say the Dewey is there was a guy who ran for president in 1948. His name was Thomas Dewey. And Thomas Dewey ran against Truman. And Truman was not seen as a favorite. He was seen as the guy that was going to lose badly against Dewey. And so Dewey, he ran on a policy. He ran on the policies of I like farmers.
Yeah.
Farmers are the backbone of this country. Workers are important to America.
Mm-hmm.
It was a campaign of, okay, yeah.
What are you gonna
So
do for them?
I'm going to do great things for them. It's like, all right, like what? And so, because he was just so vague about his policies, he got blown out.
Mm-hmm.
Truman was able to make a comeback, and he won. He won he won a massive electoral victory and the popular vote by good margins. And so I remember I told my dad initially when our campaign started is like literally if Kamala just decided to just run a Dewey style campaign, she has the potential to lose. And then I was right.
Like, when your opponent has Project 2025 up your sleeve, that's not a time to be silent. and just say, yeah, we're not gonna do that. You gotta tell us what you're gonna do, or else people aren't gonna vote for you, even if they
Yeah,
hate the other option.
yeah. People don't care about democracy if they're not able to put food on the table. Like, this is a
Yeah,
lesson that we should have learned with the Weimar Republic of how Hitler's rise to power came to be.
like I feel like
Democracy is only as, not to cut you off, but democracy is only as strong as those in positions of power are willing to give reasons for why the democracy should be defended.
yeah, like obviously socialism isn't really the most popular thing, but when there's someone like Bernie Sanders, he's really consistent with
Hmm.
what he wants to do, and the Democrats just need a Bernie Sanders, but they're just too afraid to be like, okay, why not just put Bernie Sanders up on the stage instead?
The
And
funny thing is, too, is that the Democrats, they don't even try to lie about it. It's like, just lie. Pretend, like, just, you don't have to do it. Just lie. Like, what are you doing?
yeah, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs.
It's like, this is what Kamala should have done. It was this. She should have ran on just 6 policies that anyone could name. The price gouging ban, which she did, which she said she was going to do initially. That was great stuff.
Hmm.
Then she could run on how she was going to tax the wealthy of increasing their tax rates, because she also said she was going to do that. That's great. Increase the child tax credit that she ran on. That's also really
But she
good.
said that way
Then,
too late.
yeah, it's way too late. And expand Medicaid to people that are 55 years old. That would just be awesome for everyone if she did that.
Even if you don't come up with the solution during your term,
Hmm.
you can
It's
set
just the
the
fact.
blueprint. Like, that is one thing Barack Obama has done in my eyes. Kept setting blueprints, and yes, Trump might have literally thrown them out,
Hmm.
but he
And
got stuff done.
exactly. And another thing too is that she could have just, when she, because like she always said like, oh, I'm gonna protect abortion rights. Notice how she never was ever specific about how exactly she was gonna do it. What she should have said was is that I'm gonna fight to codify abortion rights, which is why we need the Senate. So you need to vote for your senators to win.
Yeah, she relied on getting endorsements, but never endorsed someone herself, really. So,
Hmm. And crucially, too, with the Palestinian issue, is she should have vowed to make a ceasefire in Gaza happen. She shouldn't say like we're working to it. To it, she should have made it a campaign promise that I'm going to make a ceasefire happen.
yeah, like,
And
Biden had the
and
one thing where it's like, in 30 days, if ceasefire doesn't happen, we're gonna cut off all aid. Like, that was such a stupid move. Like, you should have just done it then, and really should have done it years ago. But
especially because it's like you're gonna cut off aid to them after the election. Like what? What is the move?
yeah, that was so stupid of him.
I do think Biden though intentionally was trying to torpedo her campaign.
Yeah,
Like he was like people try to give him his flowers like, oh, he's so great because he stepped aside, his legacy remained intact. It's like, nah, he's a petty old man that had Nancy Pelosi basically threatening to come out against him, with Chuck Schumer and Obama also coming out to embarrass him, that then forced him to leave.
mm,
It's like people, the media is never going to mention that, of like how Nancy Pelosi straight up was like saying, "Listen, motherfucker, you're either going to drop out, or me, Chuck, and Barack, we're going to expose you."
yeah, it was a mess. We really shouldn't have thrown Biden in there. There was only one benefit of having him there at the start, and that's, again, these campaigns are fueled on hate, and
Hmm.
Trump and Vance definitely spent a good penny on getting all the hate ready for Biden. And then last
Yeah.
minute, Kamala came out, so that went half of their budget already spent.
Hmm. And we saw it. We saw how the Republicans were just completely panicking and be like, wait a minute. They actually swapped out. Like, what? I thought they were joking about that. And so Kamala had a golden opportunity of just saying, like, yeah, Biden, we did a lot during Biden's administration,
Now
and
it's
I'm going
my
to
turn.
expand on it.
Yeah.
We're going to do even more. Because that's what she should have done. She should not have ran on the idea that, oh, I'm just going to continue Biden's administration and that's it. She should have said, like, no, I'm going to expand on what we've accomplished. So that way she could be able to say, like, no, I'm not smack talking Biden necessarily. However, I know we can do even more.
I mean, here's the thing that I definitely like from my experience. There's definitely sexism, especially
Oh
like
yeah.
not just Republicans. There's definitely sexist Democrats too,
Hmm.
and I really don't think we're gonna get a woman president anytime soon for that reason.
I
But
do. I will say, for me, where I come with the angle is that ultimately, what it comes down to, it would come down to, I feel, it's about the vibe you give out, right? And Kamala's vibe, by the time the election rolled around, was that all the good credit, all the approval ratings that she earned initially kind of faded out because she just wasn't running a campaign. She was just running on vague ideas of how I'm going to be tough on the border. I
yeah,
like Republicans.
yeah.
We have to defend democracy.
If I had to
Abortion.
summarize what she was doing, it's if you give me an office that keeps Trump out. That's really the only benefit she gave off to most of the general votes.
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
there are some people, in my opinion, stupid people, who would rather prefer to vote for the RFK Jr., the Jill Stein, and say that same thing where, yeah, I'm voting these people to try to keep Trump out of office. You really aren't. It's just,
Hmm.
you aren't.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. But yeah, I will say that, yeah, America is a racist, sexist country. However, I do feel that at the end of the day, if you just have a message that ultimately just resonates with people of saying, yeah, no, I'm gonna do some great things. I'm gonna ban price gouging to get food prices under control, expand Medicaid, increase child tax credit. It's gonna override the racist, sexist people that were never gonna
Mm-hmm.
vote for her in the first place. Because it's gonna turn out people to be like, you know what? I like that. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
That actually sounds like we're going forward.
But at this point, it's like, whoever knows if Republicans are ever going to put up a female president. And then with the
Oh,
Democrats, they'll typically put
Marjorie
up
Marjorie
couples.
Taylor Greene.
Please don't ever say that again. Uh, but there's
Marjorie
a
Taylor Greene 2028.
you you know that chick who shot her like 18-month dog that Trump just appointed something to maybe.
Who, Laura Loomer?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
crazy to me.
yeah, that those are going to be our first female presidents is like a absolute psychotic chick.
Laura Loomer being like, I had to. It was violent. No, you just didn't train it.
Hmm. It's like, oh
And
god,
still defends her decision. Like,
we are so cooked as a country.
yeah.
I think, but man, it really just what sucks the most too is how much hopium I had initially when Biden dropped out and
Hmm.
Kamala was like doing like genuinely good campaigning initially. I was like, wait, what? Hold
She
on.
was everywhere, but she wasn't speaking.
Hmm. Well, like I said, she was like doing good. Like picking Tim Walz as the VP was like, wait a minute. Is
I
she like actually gonna pivot to the left? Like, is she like gonna take the Democrats to the left now? I was like, oh my god, there's actually some hope in this country.
I'm
And then the DNC happens, and she says, I'm going to have we're going to have the most lethal U.S. military in history. I was like, oh, Oh no.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Pete Buttigieg. I'm not sure how you say his last name.
Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah. I'm personally a big fan of him, and
I don't
I
I don't know. I get snake oil salesman vibes from him.
that's fair, but I have hope in him. I'll keep watching his career closely, in my personal opinion.
No, Trump is gonna be like, ah, he's too gay. Get him out.
Yeah, but man, like I keep saying, if we don't win next election, it's just over.
It's over if the Democrats don't take over in the midterms.
I mean, there's a chance that even if we don't do the midterms, there's a chance. But if we lose the next presidential election, it is so
Hmm.
over. Like
And it will
there's
and
no
generally and
coming
it's gonna
back.
come down generally to the Democrats kind of self-reflecting and realize, okay, we can't run on this neoliberal idea of rehabilitating the Republican Party.
Like
We can't run with Republicans anymore.
yeah, like I'm fine if I have to become homeless these next few years. Look, I'll survive.
Hmm.
But if we get another Republican that, well, MAGA Republican, I have no problem if it's like an actual non-MAGA Republican that wins.
Well, the thing is, though, is like the non-MAGA Republicans in positions of power, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, and
They've kind
that's
of
why I hope
just
there's a
bent
bit of
over.
reform on the right, because if there's no reform on the right, then there's really,
Yeah, and because of this victory they had, it's like, why would they feel they need any reform
yeah,
currently? One thing I will say that does give me a slight bit of hope is that because of how much power Trump has consolidated within the Republican Party, that once he croaks it, there's going to be a power struggle within the Republican Party, and
yeah,
it's going to get messy.
yeah. Like, but yeah, if a other MAGA person is put in power 4 years later, at that point, I gotta say, yeah, I gotta pack it up and leave. You like, I'll struggle being homeless for these next few years, but if it happens all again, I gotta dip.
You're like, all right,
I
I'm out.
gotta dip. I gotta find
It's like
somewhere.
JD Vance is the president now. All right, I'm out.
I gotta go across the Canadian border. I know how to raise up the Canadians.
You're
That's
gonna
my game plan.
your
I'll
game plan is to rizz up the Canadians to be like, see, I'm like you guys. Sorry, eh? Right?
I mean, I've had some riz over the internet, but nothing really.
But can you riz a Canadian though? What's going
I
to be the
can.
real test.
I can. I haven't. I know I can. Um. So yeah, that's my plan D. Um. And till then, I just plan to be vocal on the internet and at least try. You know,
Hmm.
that's all I can do.
Well, for one thing, all I know is that we're gonna have to endure the next 2 years and hope for the best for all of us.
Yeah. It's like I'm happy that most people are being radicalized now on both sides, so people actually pay attention to politics.
Hmm. I'm
Because,
just ho- I'm just hoping that more people are get radicalized leftwards.
mhm, but the more people who pay attention, the better.
Hmm. And I hope that they pay attention to just realizing how cooked this country is gonna be.
we have a chance. We have a chance before it's over. But it is getting close. Uh,
Yeah, we're very close to it being completely
and
done.
I just really hate the fact that Musk is now in power. I, it's, it's not good.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's attempts on his life in the coming days.
Have you seen the thing where they call him the first buddy? And there was this one thing I laughed at, and it's like, well, hopefully next time, attempt on Trump life, Elon Musk is so he can take a bullet like a real buddy would. And it's on his soy jacks with the Trump soy jack and Elon Musk soy jack, and he's doing the X jump.
Oh my god, I can just imagine that.
Yeah. So, you'll find out. It's just. Can't wait till Starlink gets implanted in everyone.
It would be funny though if Trump just kicks Elon Musk out because of how much Elon Musk tries to flex his power over the federal government and it outshines Trump, and Trump is just like, you know what, get out.
He left Donald Trump's side once in the past week. Like he went back to his home once for one night and then flew straight back to Donald Trump. And it's so funny to see the videos. I forget his name. I think he's more liberal, but it's basically just a really rich guy. And when Republicans are speaking out Marco and all that, they're like, who here is the rights, insert the guy name that I don't know, rich guy. And Elon Musk raises his hand, and they're like, that's a bad thing. Why would you raise your hand? And Elon Musk is turning himself to a laughingstock so quickly.
One thing I definitely can see happening is that Elon Musk is going to piss off a lot of the political apparatus of Trump's government by him just being so abrasive of wanting to be everywhere, that I could see that being his undoing and getting kicked out.
Yeah, it's there's hope. Just them chewing them from the inside.
Yeah, because if people kind of forget that Trump doesn't like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Even when Trump had his account on Twitter be unbanned, Trump didn't come back. And Trump made fun of Elon Musk when Elon Musk endorsed Ron DeSantis. So he doesn't like him. He hates him.
Trump said he's smart, but he's also an idiot. He would drop down and lick my boot if I told him to.
Exactly, because it's true.
And I got Trump isn't on the side of electric vehicles. That kind of goes against what Trump is using to get the people on his side.
However, Elon Musk is just such a rabid racist that he doesn't care.
Yeah. And it's just, you got hope.
Yeah, his administration, he's dealing with a lot of strong personalities of people that are strong personalities in the wrong way. And there's going to be a lot of conflict within. I do not see this administration being stable.
Yeah, we gotta hope it's Ouroboros situation.
Mm-hmm.
Snake that
Because it's like,
himself.
yeah, because it's like, sure, they're going to be yes men. However, are these yes men going to be able to work together? Probably not.
Especially the fact that the Doge thing, there's two people in charge of it, both awful people, really, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But
There's,
I don't see them
yeah, there's,
working together well.
yeah. It's gonna be It's gonna be disaster from top to bottom with this administration, and we're just gonna have to see how this goes.
It's gonna be something, that's for sure.
This could be worse than even his first administration in terms of the chaos that happened. Because I just don't see this. I just don't see him having all these yes men from all these various different backgrounds being stable. I don't see it.
In my personal opinion, the game plan is probably fulfill everybody's promise that Trump used to get endorsements and all that, like this Elon Musk situation. And then in two
Mm-hmm.
years, you just put more Heritage Foundation people.
Probably not even 2 years. A year out from now, he probably will do that.
Yeah. But
Because the thing is that Trump is just, not to cut you off, but Trump is just a very unstable person, and he will fire you on a whim.
mm-hmm. So like we're gonna be seeing these people replaced by Heritage Foundation. That's just for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah,
100%.
we will see Project 2025 if we don't elect more Democrats into the House and Senate and all that. Like that's what's gonna happen.
And the funny thing is, though, is that even if he puts Heritage Foundation people in, they're not guaranteed to stay either, because Trump is just again a very chaotic individual.
Well, that's where we get back to the point where he's old. So that's why I'm given the 2 year time frame. We get 2 years of Trump trying to act normal. And then the last 2 years is him and his close knit group of people will probably be, hey, alright, just give us the wings and you just act like you're doing stuff. Like the old Biden
Which,
situation that people claim happens. Like,
which is very antithetical to Trump's mindset.
yeah. And at that point, yeah, we're just gonna get Trump saying, yeah, we're gonna do this and this and this and that and that. Just Project 2025, just push him while he speaks. That's kind of what I imagine going on. And that's, hoping these are peaceful years and he won't ask the Pentagon to shoot citizens again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of just hoping that doesn't happen again.
I wouldn't be surprised though if people within the Pentagon just hamstring the guy at the top to just make it as difficult as possible. Because if there's one thing you can expect from the U.S. from those that are very familiar with bureaucracy, it's to use it to hamstring things as much as possible.
Yeah. So that's really all my thoughts. Not sure if there's really anything else for me to bring up.
Let's just hope for the best and see where we are 2 years from now.
Yep. Good first podcast. Now it's just to the memes and random images and all that.
Well, in lighter news, kind of. Have you heard of Blue Sky?
Yeah, Ice Age 6. Oh.
Yeah, apparently it's actually pretty good.
Oh, I have a YouTube tab right here.
Like from what some people are saying, Blue Sky is basically a reverse of how social media used to be, in a sense.
This is a Blue Sky movie that I feel like more people need to see.
What is this?
It's called Epic. Um, I have a weird trend of seeing movies where a young person gets shrunk and then meets royalty to many people, and this is one of them. So, shrinks, just flower people. There's these two
I
slugs, snails that do comedy.
Gib, I can't see anything. The screen's black.
Yeah, I, I'm just. It won't because copyright stuff.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's anti-piracy and all that since I'm also streaming. So,
Makes sense. Okay.
but I was just going through to see stuff. But that's a movie I recommend you check out while it's free with ads on YouTube.
All right.
There's two other movies that come in mind, and it's like
I see you watch Interstellar as well.
that kind of just played while I was asleep. I don't think I actually ever saw that.
Dude, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. The ending though is very timey wimey fuckery.
I woke up this morning to see my Dash Pass, and it said I had a free Mac subscription, so I enabled that. So now I'm watching Game of Thrones. But I keep forgetting that one movie, Arthur and
And the stone?
no, it's like a lot of. It's similar to this epic movie, but it's live action till it's CGI when they get shrunk. But it looks like the trolls basically, like the troll toys with the long hair.
I think it's literally just called Trolls, isn't it?
No, that's a different movie. Like this is Arthur and the. That's Arthur and this.
Oh, okay.
That's the other movie that's like worse epic. So yeah, the boy is live action, and he's trying to find his grandfather in the mini world, and then there's the princess and comedic character. And then the one I forget the name of, but you might actually know, is the George Lucas one.
When George Lucas made a movie like this?
Yeah, his is he explains it as Star Wars is for his sons, and he wanted a movie for his daughters. And it follows the trends of these movies. So, the princess character of that movie gets a love potion and falls in love with the evil king. There's also an evil king in Epic, and he has rod-in powers basically. But in this George Lucas one, it gets really weird because of the love potion and all that. Definitely some jokes that I keep forgetting that probably are not appropriate. And it's the same premise where it's two tiny kingdoms and all that. But now I really want to know what it's called. Can I see more? It's so hard to go through all of the Star Wars.
I can't remember. I know what you're talking about, though. I can't remember what it's specifically called.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, speaking of Star Wars, by the way, the Rey movie is now basically canceled again.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of expected when the actress had that diagnosis. I'd expect a delay after that.
But what diagnosis did Daisy really have?
I forgot.
Yeah, the film was being replaced by Ice Age 6 instead. Nice.
Yeah. So many just random Star Wars projects.
It's like, I haven't even heard of most of this.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Why does he have a credit for that? I don't think I'm gonna find the movie here. But those are all three movies that feel like a fever dream. Maybe if I... Oh, yes, it's this. I don't care about that. Bog King. Strange Magic. So yeah, this is like the other movies I was showing you.
Oh, I remember. I remember watching a movie about this.
Yeah.
But not a movie, a video. Yeah, this movie was weird.
So weird.
And it was supposed to be for girls. Star Wars for girls. Somehow.
These characters are so weird. Oh, I forgot about this character. This it's such a weird movie. This one is the most fever dream. Then it's the Arthur and the Small Mini Kingdom thing, and then it's Epic. But Epic is the only one that feels like a real movie that actually exists in our timeline. And those are all three movies from my childhood that just pop up in my mind every now and then.
The movies of my childhood are The Matrix and the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I didn't get into The Matrix till this newer one dropped. Then my dad wanted me to watch all of them with him, so I did. But
I don't know what it was, but my parents, they just, well, my mom loved The Matrix and Lord of the Rings. So we were all, those were the movies we always watched.
yeah, I watched Lord of the Rings, but I really couldn't tell you even the main cast of characters' names, so...
Frodo, Gandalf.
But yeah. Oh, I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter growing up. It was too dynamic. So that's probably something I should watch while I have this Max subscription.